Hello, all, and welcome to this afternoon's beer review. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and this thing is not behaving as it usually does. I really need like a new setup. I swear, I need a new car, I need a new computer setup, I need a new recording setup, I need a new life, I need a new job, I need a new existence. Anyways, I'm going to dub this the unintentional redo review. So I don't remember reviewing this, but apparently in the past I have. I could have swore I didn't review this though. Uh, I gave it a fairly good review, but then this is fairly highly reviewed. This is fairly highly rated for a Russian Imperial Stout. It's kind of one of the exemplars of the style. And without much further ado, I'd like not much verbiage on it. Last time I did this, it was in a bottle. This time it's in a pint can. But what's interesting here is that, of course, it's North Coast Brewing, but it's brewed by Gordon Biersch Brewing in San Jose. So I'm wondering if North Coast doesn't do its own brewing anymore. Who knows? 9.0 ABV. Let's get this out into the pint glass, shall we? So I originally reviewed this in 2016, which is quite some time ago, I must say. Back during the Obama administration. So, incredibly dark. There's a little light that gets through when I put it up to the sunlight here from the side. With a thick, frothy, light brown head. Fits perfectly into this pint glass here. Perfect pour. Chocolate. Chicory. Some very slight hints of wood smoke almost. Like a campfire smell. Not incredibly strong, not like peaty, but just a hint of campfire. Some coffee, but it's definitely much more dominated by a sort of the chocolate note as well as that sort of chicory note. Very sweet smelling. Onto the palate. One of the reasons why this is so highly remarked upon is that it's 9.0, but it's not boozy. It's chewy, but it's not overly oily or cloying. It's just very well balanced all around in a style that I find is often not very well balanced. You know, I don't know how they do it, how they remove all the booziness. Um, I don't really drink very many Imperial Stouts because I don't enjoy the booziness of it. This one is not boozy at all. Very roasted notes that are strongest in the mids. And there's this, that roasted bitterness transitions into hop bitterness in the finish and long finish. It's a very seamless transition. Up front is bittersweet chocolate and carob nibs. And the finish just goes on and on. It leaves a hoppiness on the palate, not overly intense. It doesn't feel overwhelming, but it's definitely there and strong. The effervescent top note is fairly muted, slightly to fairly muted, of the chocolate note. It also could be that I'm just mildly congested right now, too. But I do seem to smell it, though. This does not drink like a 9.0. It definitely feels more like a 7.5 thereabouts. Which brings me to an interesting note. It, I never have a beer where it's like 4.5 and I'm like, oh, this drink's like a 6.0, you know? It's always like it, you know, I never have anything that's like tastes heavier than it actually is. As it warms up, the taste notes are broadening a bit. I would say this is a bit, actually, I'd say it's moderately more hop than most Imperial stouts I've had actually are. It's becoming more apparent as it warms up. Very much almost a piney like note emerging. You may like this, or if you're like me, you may not. I'm not going to hold it against them because that's just my personal taste, which is why you never see me drinking black IPAs. I can't stand them, so it's very much a personal taste thing in that matter. This one's definitely getting there, though. And while it's not to my taste, it's just interesting how well the dark malts, that roasted bitterness of the dark malts, transitions to the hop bitterness in the lasting long finish. It's very interesting to me. So, kind of run out of things to say, especially since I've reviewed this before. Old Rasputin. Up there with Narwhal and Kentucky Breakfast Stout as basically great examples of the style. It's a style that I don't usually drink all that much of, but I can appreciate it on its own level. You know, if you like Imperial Stouts and you haven't tried this one, definitely give it a try. Even somebody like me who doesn't particularly like the style can find something interesting to say about it. So, North Coast Brewing, Old Rasputin, Russian Imperial Stout. Definitely something to go and try. Even if you're not a fan of the style, like myself, I'm not a fan of the style, but it's definitely such a hallmark that you kind of have to visit it. And, you know, unless you're really against the style, then, you know, you'll find some things to take away from it. And that, folks, is your beer review for this afternoon. Cheers.